This is the last in the series of draw a model questions, and this is about adding the same amount or removing the same amount from your bar. So first question, a bakery had 480 cupcakes and 300 muffins. After selling an equal number of both, well, this is the removal of the same quantity. So we have the real numbers up here reflected, more cupcakes than muffins. Now shade the same length of bar to indicate the same number sold. And after that, 1 unit for muffins and 4 units for cupcakes. This shows 4 times of cupcakes left compared to muffins. Okay, we can form, before that, we know the difference is 480 minus 300. And that actually shows the difference of 3 units here. So 3 units will represent 180. So form an equation, 3 units is 180, 1 unit is 60. The question is, how many muffins were sold? So we are actually interested in this purple part here, muffins sold. Well, once we know 1 unit is 60, 300 minus that will give us the answer. Tom and George had 550 and 1550 respectively. They were then each given an equal amount. So here we have the same amount of money added to both people. So I'm going to draw blocks that represent the addition. Now notice that I'm not drawing them on the right side here. Okay, why? Because drawing on the left allows me to see the differences clearly. Okay, after the same amount was added to each, George had twice of what Tom had. So Tom here had 1 unit, George had 2 units. Now if this is 2 units and this is 1 unit, that tells me that this difference here is 1 unit. And that actually is the difference between 1550 and 550. So 1 unit is therefore $10, the difference between these two real numbers. And how much did each boy receive? I can find that by looking at this portion here. 1 unit is $10. So therefore, what was added was $10 minus 550. That's $4.50. Peter had 89 cards, James had 17. Both of them bought the same number of cards. So this is adding the same number. And after that, Peter had 3 units when James had 1 unit, telling us that this difference here would represent 2 units. So let's take the difference between 89 and 17. So that would be 2 units representing 72, 1 unit 36. How many cards did James buy? That would be this quantity here. So we know 1 unit, we subtract 17, that would get us the quantity of 19. Sam had 96 more than Henry. Here they're going to spend. So this is about the same amount being removed. So S 96 more than H now show the same amount removed. And the end result is Sam having 3 units and Henry having 1 unit. So this 96 here must be 2 units because the total that Sam had left was 3 units. With this, we can form an equation. 2 units is 96, 1 U is 48. How much did Henry have left? Hey, it turns out we are interested in 1 unit. That's Henry's sum left, $48. Kenneth and Phoebe had 33 pencils and 9 respectively at first. They each bought the same number. So here we have the same quantity added to the share of these two. So 33 for K and 9 for P, same quantity added, and I usually again do it on the left. Next, Phoebe had 2/3. Now, this actually means Phoebe had 2 units and 3 units for Kenneth. So 3 units for Kenneth, 2 units for Phoebe, which means the difference between 33 and 9 would represent 1 unit. So 3U minus 2U is 1U, and 1U is 24. 2 units is therefore 48. How many did both of them buy? So if we can find 2 units, which is 48, we can subtract 9, and that would get us 1 unit of what was bought. Yeah, so that will be 2U minus 9, that's 39. So both of them bought 39 times 2, 78. Sarah and June had a total of 132 in their piggy banks. Okay, not much that we can work with. When $20 was added to each girl's piggy bank, now we know the same amount would be added to both girls. Next, June would have 3U and Sarah would have 1U. This looks like we will work backwards. So starting at the end, we're going to see that after adding 20, and this is Sarah's mysterious initial amount, Sarah would have 1 unit and June would have 3 units. Okay, now remember that they each had a total of 132, right? But after adding 20 and 20, would the total be 132? Nope, the total would be 172. So we know now that this is a total of 4 units. So 4 units is the new total of 172. 3 units therefore would be $129. Now why are we interested in 3 units? Because look, they want June at first. So June at first would be this black bar here. So 3 units is 129 minus $20. She would have $109 at first. In the library, there were 972 fiction books. The number of fiction books was 3 times the number of non-fiction books. Now, we were just told the actual number of fiction books, and this is 3 times of non-fiction books. So, given that this is 3 units, then non-fiction books must be 1 unit. So the first step would be to take 972 divided by 3 to find the actual number of non-fiction books. From there, an equal number of these 2 types were given away. So we can draw the diagram as such with the 2 real numbers that we have just found. And the next step would be to shade an equal portion to signify an equal amount given away. And the end result is fiction books was 4 times as many as non-fiction books, so 4 units and 1 unit. From here, the difference of 3 units would be the difference between these 2 real numbers. So 4U minus 1U is 3 units, and 3 units will be 648, and 1 unit is 216. How many fiction books were given away? Now, fiction books given away happens to be exactly the same as non-fiction books given away, so we can just take 324 minus the value of 1 unit. So that's 324 minus 216, giving us 108. Pooja had 38 stamps at first, after Pooja and her sister each received 7 stamps. So this is an equal number added. Pooja ended up with 5 units and sister 1 unit. Okay, so the thing about this question is we have no idea what her sister started out with, but it's not 0. So let's say Pooja had 38 and sister had an unknown number. And I'm going to add the 7 on the right side. Okay, then we are told 5 units and 1 unit. Now, this part here is 1 unit. Well, we can see right now that 5 units represent 38 plus 7, so that's 45, enabling us to find 1 unit, which is 9. So we can draw 1 unit below, and this is 9. How many did her sister have at first? That means her sister didn't have 0. That's why there's an unknown number here. It's not 0. She did have some. The question is, what is it? Well, since we know 1 unit is 9, 9 minus 7 is 2. So her sister had 2 at first. And that's it. This concludes model drawing, and hopefully you learned something new.